Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. So, on this lesson, we're going to talk about something that is a little bit different than equations. We're going to solve them very similarly, but not everything in life comes out to perfectly one answer. Sometimes it's a range of answers. And because of that, we have inequality symbols. Now, you will notice in your notes, okay, and I'm going to show these for just a minute, okay? So looking at these on the screen for just a minute, you will notice that you have two handouts, and of those handouts, they go on the two sides of your notebook. Okay, this doesn't happen very often, but in this case, we have two different handouts. So starting with the first one, or the main one, we have all of these symbols, okay? And this graphic gives us the meaning in words, as well as an arithmetic example, okay? Again, the symbols and an example of how that applies. So like this symbol right here, less than. Something is less than something else. Well, 3 is less than 16. In real life, in day-to-day activities, that might mean that children under 6, children less than 6 years old, ride free. Okay? Your parents might have taken you to Disneyland right before you turned 3 years old, because 3 years old is the magic cutoff age at Disneyland. Okay? But notice if it gets this little line under it, it's now less than or equal to. Children ride free through age 6. So that includes the 6-year-olds and the 5-year-olds and the 4-year-olds and the 3-year-olds. Okay? And so we've gone through these in our life of we had to be a certain amount of tall or we had to be a certain age in order to participate in activities. Okay? An equation is exact. You come up with an exact answer. An inequality is not exact. It's going to give you a range. And in just a minute, we're going to come back and we're going to solve these inequalities. And I'm going to show you how to display that on a number line graph as a range. But first, I wanted to take a look at the graphs themselves. Okay. So if I have something like B is less than 16, boys less than 16 may not drive cars by themselves, then notice when I graph it, it gets a open circle. The 16-year-olds don't count. And all these other younger people can't drive cars by themselves either. Okay. But notice here, when it's less than or equal to, you must be 12 years old or less to participate in this, McDonald's Playland. It's a closed circle, and it's still all the people, including 12 now, because it's closed, and younger. Okay? So the open and the closed circles in graphs have a great deal of meaning. It means whether or not that person is included, that age group is included, or that dollar amount is included. Okay? Now, in the first part of your try problems in your homework, you're literally going to look through some examples like this and decide which symbol would go with it. Okay? So you're just going to do some thinking. There's no calculation to do. But in the second part, we're going to solve some things and actually graph them. So 3 is greater than D minus 1. We solve these exactly the same way we solve equations. So I'm going to draw a line right through the inequality symbol. We still need to isolate the variable. Well, the inverse operation of minus 1 is plus 1. That's going to make a 0 pair for me. So 3 plus 1 is 4. 4 is greater than D, whatever D is. Okay. Now I can draw a number line, and literally you can draw it yourself. It doesn't have to be fancy. Number lines do have arrows at the end. Okay. And you can put 0 wherever it's convenient. I'm going to put it a little bit over because I want to make sure to get to 4. And I'll just go one number above. So this says that 4 is greater than D. Okay, there's no equality symbol. This isn't greater than or equal to. So it's an open circle at the 4. And D has to be smaller because 4 is greater than whatever D is. So what's a number that's smaller than 4? 1. So my arrow has to go towards the 1 and then just keep going on forever and ever into eternity. Okay, and that is how you graph an inequality on a number line. Well, let's do another one. In this one, A plus 15 is less than or equal to 19. Again, I'm going to make it nice and neat. The inverse operation of plus 15 is to subtract 15. Okay. This made a 0 pair, so I have A is less than or equal to, 4. Again, nice small number. It didn't have to go crazy. Okay. So I'm going to draw a number line. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can do it any way you want. Okay. Make sure you include a few numbers and always include 0, because you want to know which way you would get to the negative numbers. Now this says that A is less than or equal to 4. It could include the 4-year-olds in this bounce house and anyone less than. Okay. When you're deciding which way to draw your arrow, ask yourself, what is a number less than 4? Oh, well, 0 is less than 4. Let's go that way. That will keep you doing them the correct direction. Okay, so that is how we're going to use inequalities, the same way we use equations, to give greater ranges of information. Right, after you look through this, do your try problems, and I can't wait to see you again.